And with that, guys, it's time. We are now gonna meet the person, the main event for this stream. He is the one, the only, the mastermind of deck building. It is Emil Bjornfot! Everybody give it up for him. Look at that. It's Emil, the one and only Bjornfot. Hello, my friend. How are you? Everybody in the chat say hello to him. How are you, my friend? Are you good?
Yeah. I'm all right. You know, it's a little a bit tuckered out from all the holiday stuff going on, of course. I've had a great time with, family and such.
So what did you do something special for Christmas, perhaps?
Nothing, super fancy or special, but, just meeting, going to different places to meet different parts of the family and such.
I can understand. Merry Christmas, Emil Atagini writes to you.
Thank you. Oh, and also, of course, once I got home on Christmas Eve, around midnight when Christmas Day starts, because of course in Sweden we are a normal country, so we celebrate on the 24th. Just want to put that
Real
out there
countries celebrate the 24th, not the 25th.
Yeah, we celebrate on the Christmas Eve, not Christmas Adam or Christmas Day or whatever you have it. But yeah, I came home like around midnight, and then my partner's like, hey, I've been gone all day. I want to play some video games. And then we played Total War all night.
Ooh, nice. So you set up all the night to play video games also.
Yeah, so of course, some like an 8-hour Christmas gaming session from midnight till the sun rises. I mean, that's just the holiday spirit, right?
No, I love it. I love it. I myself passed out around midnight because I was so tired from opening a present and being with the family. But we are gonna have some questions for you today because you are a very well recognized face, at least in the Swedish community, and you have also been seen on YouTube. Isn't that right?
Yes, and I would say at least for the OGs, you have seen me in Discords. I've been hanging a lot in the Disney Lorcana HQ and 20lore.pro Discords since the start of the game, really.
Mm-hmm.
So I have some internet notoriety.
You've been around for almost as long as the game, right? Or you've been there since the beginning. We're gonna come into that. We're going a little bit further away. But are you ready now? Because I will start with the first question. And the first question is, who are you? Who is Emil Bjornfot, this guy that we all see in the Discord? Who are you?
Who am I?
Who are you?
I'm Batman.
Whoa!
No. I'm not. But, I'm just a 32-year-old Swedish guy. I live in Järfälla. It's a bit north of Stockholm. So I'm technically a Stockholmer, but it's very nice to not have to live inside of the big city, because I don't like cities really. I like that the city, Stockholm has a lot of cool places, and I like that.
It always has.
Too many people, yeah. I mean, if you're from an actual big city like London or New York, you probably don't get it. Stockholm would look like a freaking village to you, probably. But for us in Sweden, Stockholm is huge, right?
It's pretty huge, yeah. I would say. I mean, I'm born in Stockholm myself, and I moved away from there because I don't like the city at all.
Yeah, but I mean, compare it to, again, any actual big European city like Madrid, Paris, Berlin, no shot. It's another league entirely.
But then again, also, we can almost then go back a little bit to the childhood, because
Right.
You're very. When we talk about you, we talk about gaming. So, how did a childhood look like when you grow up? I can imagine there was a lot of gaming, but did the interest for TCG begin there, or was it later?
Well, when I was about, I think it was about when I was like about 6 years old. Yes, exactly. It's called preschool. Yeah, before first grade. And I was, really into all sort of different toys, but also found computers fascinating. My dad has always been like a very, very at the front of technology. He runs like the IT department at a school currently, and yeah, he had a computer as long as I can remember in our home. It had like Windows 93 or 95, and I remember that there were like some games on it. Like he showed me you could play this like card games, probably Solitaire. There was this like one really cool game where you played like a submarine. It's like a really old. Does anyone know about that? A really old Windows game where you like were a submarine going around the water and shooting stuff and blowing up landmines.
Does anyone know about that game? Write it in the chat, please.
It was called like U-boat 38 or something. I don't know.
Okay.
I think it was like a World War II thing, but I didn't. When I was a kid, I was like, oh, funny boats. But yeah, and of course, some preschool games, like, oh, my first ABCs and whatever, and I slowly worked myself up to, I mean, look, Mullemek. If you're Swedish,
If you're Swedish, you know about Mullemek. That is the OG game. That is the real game. And everybody in Sweden knows about that game. Because I'm pretty sure everybody owned that game.
Yeah, and I was at we was visiting like some relatives, and one of the kids had a Game Boy. Ooh. Right? And I mean, just Game Boy. It didn't even have color on it, right? And it had like Super Mario on it, and I'm like, oh wow!
Just the name
this is awesome.
Like Game Boy.
Yeah, it's like, it was like, from here on out, I am a Game Boy. Like this, I need this. And I begged my parents. Because it was nothing like those just point and click computer games. Those were cool and all, but Super Mario? Sheesh.
Super Mario is in another league. I can remember myself the first time I played a Super Mario game, and my brain went like, poof, what is this? It's so much different from anything else that I ever played before.
And if you're not born in the 90s, if you're a youngin watching this, you probably won't get it. Sorry, but like back then, there just wasn't, you didn't have things. The internet barely existed, right? There was nothing, no smartphones, no nothing. So like seeing a guy jump when you pressed a button, it was mind-blowing, right?
It was mind-blowing. I remember the first time I played was it Mario 64? And the first time I saw Mario 3D and when he jumped, and I was like, this is the most incredible thing I've ever seen.
Yeah, what do you mean you can go not just left and right? You can also go forward and backwards, and also jump and go down, and you can rotate the camera. And oh my!
For me, it was like I can open doors and I can see the animation when it goes inside. I was like, wow, games will never become better than this.
Yeah, my mom didn't want to get me a Nintendo 64 because it was like, no, that's so violent, that's so realistic. It's all 3D. Oh, it's good. No, it's too realistic. You're gonna get nightmares if you play something scary on that. But yeah, no. It was a different time, and people, and I did finally get a Game Boy Color on my 7th birthday. Actually, I'm born in '93, so in the year, exactly in the year 2000. I got a Game Boy Color. No, was it? Or maybe when I was 6. Anyway, I got a Game Boy Color, and with Pokemon, because I wished for Pokemon Yellow.
Pokemon Yellow. Oh wow.
Yeah, because before I even had a Game Boy, you see, I was way into Pokemon. Right? The Pokemon cards existed. Pokemon on first of all, Pokemon on TV was how I got exposed to it. On the Lattjo on the Saturday mornings.
Every OGs in Sweden, every kid born in the 90s know what Lattjo was, and we all knew that on Saturday and Sundays it was Pokemon.
Yeah, it was a Pokemon, and then later on they also had Pokemon and some other anime, but I don't remember. And then they also had Yu-Gi-Oh in the future. I remember that
Yu-Gi-Oh and Yu-Gi-Oh came
way later when I was a teenager or something.
It was that when I was hooked when Yu-Gi-Oh came. Blew my mind.
Yeah, no, I started with Pokemon, so Pokemon on TV, so I wanted Pokemon, plushies and toys. There was these small plastic Pokeballs, and you opened them, and there were really small plastic Pokemon inside of them.
Oh, the figurines, they were amazing.
Yeah, if anyone remembers that, and you got really disgusting hard candy in those Pokeballs too.
Oh, I remember those. They were so disgusting.
But cracked your teeth if you tried to eat them, because they were probably a few years old once they reached Sweden,
I think I broke my
probably
teeth,
got the backlog, yeah.
I think I broke some of my teeth when I chewed on those, actually.
Yeah, I stopped chewing those and just I used them as props. I had a huge Lego house for my Pokemon, and I used those for different things in the house, But yeah, anyway, I was super hooked on Pokemon. So first was your TV, figurines, trading cards. Right, and everyone at school was crazy about the Pokemon cards. And it was first grade, 6, 7 years old. We traded a lot. We didn't know what to do with the cards. We couldn't really read. We could barely read Swedish, let alone English. So we had this thing where we threw them. We took a card and you went and you could see who could throw their card the longest, because that's what we were used to doing with marbles and go-go's, if anyone remembers any of those at the school.
I remember. What was it? Was it gargoyles? It was called
go-go's.
Go-go's. It was called. Yeah.
Yeah, small plastic things that were. It was literally just marbles, but they were small plastic dudes instead.
That's right.
But yeah, so we just did that, and therefore all the cards I have, I'm going to show you my phone. I have a Black Star Promo Pikachu. This goes for a lot.
Wow.
But it's damaged, of course, because no cards. I mean, I have a holographic Charizard too. That's a 4, a PSA 4 probably if I try to.
Oh wow.
So yeah, my Pokemon collection is not worth anything because we just fucking chucked our cards everywhere. We did not handle them with care at all. No, inner sleeves, no sleeves at all, actually. Just so yeah, I could have been a millionaire or something, but now I just have a bunch of damaged cards and nostalgia.
I feel like right now I'm your psychologist. I'm sitting here and writing down all of the sad things and how did you feel when you throw away that Charizard back then? But in the end, we can say Pokemon was the first TCG that got you into TCG. But did you ever play the game, or did you just collect them?
Well, it was, again, we didn't really know anything. We were I guess, I think we saw that, the cards have attacks and we have HP. So we put 2 cards in front of each other and be okay, so I kill you in 3 attacks, but you kill me only in 2 attacks. So I guess you win, because, we had no idea how to actually do any rules. At first, at least.
And that is kind of funny, because when I started with TCG, that was with Yu-Gi-Oh! And and I, of course, thought that the rules applied to the show. And the thing is, the first season of Yu-Gi-Oh, the tournament structure is all made up. So we all thought that, we just follow the rules that they do. Except that the rules that they did, you couldn't really do, because it was I don't think
wrong.
I don't think they themselves did know how to play the game. They fixed that in the second season with the Battle City one. Then they start playing by the real rules and everything. But so I can understand, that you didn't know how to play the game. You just assumed, like, well, it's the strongest card, so I guess I'm beating you. Like, yeah.
Yeah, like, and usually kids nowadays do the same. If you're just collecting, like, here's my strongest card. He has 300 HP. And like, oh, yeah, sure.
Pretty strong card, but
you don't have to care about how to play if you just like collecting them. But I think I did. Like, I didn't think it took too many years, right? Because again, we were big Pokemon nerds. Me and all of my friends, we all got Game Boys with Pokemon. So we battled and we traded. And the game itself got a huge hit, and of course, Pokemon Gold and Silver comes out, and we get the Game Boy Advance, and we get Pokemon Ruby and Sapphire, and I don't remember exactly when, but sometime during this, we also start thinking like, what if we learn to play with the cards that we all have, right? So we do figure that out. We play a little bit. I don't remember it being like a huge hit for us, because this is also when nobody at school cares anymore. Pokemon was popular for like 2 years at my school, and then it was like, eh.
Yeah. I think every school has their own bit of TCG hypes when the TCG games come out. I think, as I said, Yu-Gi-Oh! Was very big for a while, but it died. Maybe it had like a 1-2 year hype, then it died. Pokemon in itself had a little longer span, but at the same time, that was more the collecting part of it. But we can go forward a little bit into the future. Let's say now, because at some point in your life, you're gonna walk into a store, and this store is named Dragon's Lair, and it's located in Stockholm. And for all of us who has been there, we know that Dragon's Lair is the mecca of TCG and board games. At least I think it was one of the big first one.
It was pretty much the first real one. Like, it was the first one that wasn't like, here's a store and there kind of is a table in the corner. It was the first one where like, no, look, here's a whole freaking room full of chairs and tables, and we have tournaments here. That wasn't a thing before. I believe Dragon's Lair was the first in Stockholm to have it properly like that.
I do believe so myself, but how can you tell us when you walked there for the first time? Because you work there, and we see you a lot there also, because you are a judge. You have been a judge at a lot of Lorcana tournaments, and I bet a lot of other TCG games too. But tell me a little bit, like, the first time you walked into Dragon's Lair, what went through your mind?
Well, I believe it was fairly late, actually. Again, when we were hooked on Pokemon, I didn't know the place. Then, in like högstadiet, high school, something, as you said, Yu-Gi-Oh! Was popular for a few years, and still didn't know about Dragon's Lair until that died off too. And it wasn't until I think I started with Magic in like 2010, and that's when because I just heard so much about it, people talking about it on the internet, and that's when I went to Dragon's Lair for the first time.
Okay.
I think I was just wanting to buy some Magic cards, right?
Mm-hmm. Also, you were a Magic the Gathering player also.
Name a card game, I play it. Like
you play them all. We can say that.
I have too much going on. I have committal issues, but in like the 2010s, it was Magic for me. I just discovered it, and it was like, wow, this is amazing, and it was so cool. They had so many different cards. You had like I thought the Planeswalker cards were so cool, and I loved playing like blue artifact decks, and like. I started off with a villain arc with Esper Control, sadly, but I got better. Just so everyone knows.
I'm not the person who talks Magic Gathering because I don't know anything about that. So if there's anyone in the chat who knows anything about Magic Gathering, here we go.
But yeah, when I went to Dragon Slayer, I was like, wow, there's like a whole store just for like card game nerdery, and what you have a whole basement like with. It's huge, and people can just play here whatever they want, or you can turn up the tournaments like you. Yeah, no, it was a real like wow. I had no idea this even existed kind of deal. And I don't think I didn't go there a lot. I think I went there maybe a few times, but it was usually like with buddies or such. But it wasn't until yes, in 2009, 2010 something. But then my favorite card game ever. I'm never gonna. If people have talked, if any of you listening right now have talked to me any time before, I'm sorry to bring this up again. But my favorite card game of all time. This is not a joke. This is not nostalgia. My Little Pony CCG. Okay, there's just nothing like it. Nothing comes close. 2011 is when. So the funny thing is, Hasbro owns My Little Pony, and they also own Wizards of the Coast. Wizards of the Coast makes both Magic the Gathering and the Pokemon card game. So you'd think that Wizards of the Coast would also make the My Little Pony card game. And that's where you're wrong.
Oh.
Enterplay, who have never made a card game before, but mostly make like toys and like collectibles. They make this My Little Pony collectible card game. And I'm glad they did, because it's so different. Like, they don't know what they're doing, and it's glorious. It's so funny, but it just works anyway. And it's so simple, but it's like genius. I can't describe it because it's nothing like Magic or Pokemon or Yu-Gi-Oh! It's just its own thing entirely. Lorcana reminds me a little bit of it. Like, Lorcana is the closest I've gotten to My Little Pony. Maybe that's why I like Lorcana so much.
Because it's so simple to play?
No, it's that you don't win by killing each other. Mostly. Like, the only other like big card game I can think of that works the way is like Legend of the Nine Rings, which you can win by combat. There's also different win conditions, but yeah, in My Little Pony, you instead like you don't fight at all, but you have friends, and then you have friendship problems, and you just have to solve those friendship problems with your friends before your opponent can do that. And if you try to solve the same friendship problem at the same time, then you kind of enter a combat, but no one dies. It's just, the person who wins gets the points, and the loser has to go home with all their characters, but, they don't die or anything. It can just be brought back, and it's so wacky. Like, you don't have mana as in like, I play the cards and get resources. You don't have ink. You instead have to get some tokens and you stay. So if you can just not play anything for 3 turns and just bank up currency and then spend everything in one go. What card game does that? Like, all card games I've ever played has resources that like, you get some new ones every turn. Spend all of your stuff because they're all gonna your mana cards, your ink cards, they're all gonna get untapped. I mean, it was again so crazy, so fun to be like yeah, you wait till you see my new Pinkie Pie deck, bro. I'm gonna smoke you. It was so funny. It was,
but does the game still exist today?
They have sort of stopped making it, but they like basically gave the game to the community. So like officially, like the game is like belongs to, basically it's like open source, and it's print to play now. So there are new cards and new sets even today, and I've checked it out a little bit, and it's very interesting. But Enterplay did discontinue the game like 5 years ago. Like it had a good going.
So it's that
was a very popular show.
It's that old, actually. It's 5 years old. I didn't know that this game even existed. So
yeah, like again, 2011 is when they made the game, and that's when I started going to Dragon's Lair regularly.
Wow, that's cool.
Like we had a good locals. Like if anyone knows Umar at Dragon's Lair, yeah, he took it upon himself to like make a My Little Pony league. So we had locals with really good prize support, and like 10 people like every week coming in and just duking it out with the ponies.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah,
did you have a good show up? Like, did you have tournaments where a lot of players came, for example, and stuff like that?
We mostly had locals. Like we had like some, like once a month we had like a bigger thing, but we didn't have any like world tournaments. So there was like there was a really big there was like a world championship officially at BronyCon every year in the US.
Okay.
But like look, I've been a brony, but even back then when I identified myself as a brony, I was like, I don't think I want to go to BronyCon and meet like that many bronies. That's I don't know.
I don't know.
It's not on my.
But
yeah, we wasn't super big in Sweden, but the local scene was strong. And that's when I, first started to feel the magic of Dragon's Lair. Like, wow, you can go here, every week, same time, and it's a community. We, meet and we play like, like a 4-round Swiss or whatever, and then we go and eat at Subway or something. Yeah.
And guys, if you haven't been to Dragon's Lair already, I can say that you have to go there and meet Emil there, because you will meet Bjornfot right there. He is an amazing human being also, and all of the other persons and all the staff that works there are amazing. They will take good care of you, and check out their assortment because they have a lot of things there. So shout out to Dragon's Lair.
Yeah.
But it's also funny because what was the name of the maker of the My Little Pony TCG game? Did you say their name was?
Hasbro owns My Little Pony, and Enterplay made the card game itself.
And it's actually kind of funny that you bring that up, because Enterplay is a company that's, as you said, has made toys. They have made like collectibles thing. And that comes in almost like to our next thing, and that is Lorcana, made by Ravensburg. Right. Who are the puzzle masters. They have not made a TCG game before, so it's kind of the similar thing here. So
yeah, I know.
Lorcana is released in 2023 in August, and it's a whole new TCG game.
Mm-hmm.
And you are jumping on this train very early on. So
absolutely,
let me know the first initial thoughts about Disney is going into the TCG world, and Ravensburg is going to make this game. What did you think about it?
Well, first off, that again, the My Little Pony thing, I was like, wow, okay, so I wonder if this game will also be good then, because this is a company that has never made a card game before. And last time I played something like that, it was wonderful. Mm-hmm. It was so new and refreshing and unique, because they don't know what they're doing. But they do know what they're doing still. They just don't know what it's supposed to be, and it's So I had high hopes. So like, yeah, Ravensburger, that's a real company. They make real stuff.
Yeah, it's not a small company.
I think they can be trusted. And Disney, I'm not a big Disney fan or anything. Like mostly when I was a kid. Like I would say I love Disney, but I'm not like a Disney fan. I would say it's mostly again nostalgia for me. But what's great about Disney is that they are a huge company. They are so huge worldwide. They have money, right? So it's like, oh yeah, this game is gonna get so much money. They're gonna get funded really well. So that's very promising, because sometimes card games can struggle to get enough revenue, but. I was like, yeah, it's Disney. They have all the money in the world. If they actually, commit to this, it's going to be good. Yeah. And again, the Ravensburger, they've never made a card game before, but they've made board games. They've made puzzles. I'm sure they can figure it out, They know game design, at least. So
So
that's when I started looking into it.
The first chapter is released. Did you buy the first chapter when it came out?
No, my story starts way before the first chapter.
Right.
I was here since before the game. Like when I first knew of its existence,
Ooh.
I immediately joined the first big Discord. It's called Disney Lorcana HQ.
Oh.
Probably in like February, March, the year of the release. So I had like 4 months before release to. Like basically, they did a very slow spoiler release. Where they show a few cards they showed just a few new cards every week.
Okay.
And when I joined, we had like 40 cards revealed.
Wow.
And people tried to play the game. we had Tabletop Simulator. We had Pixelborn.
What?
Yeah, Pixelborn existed before the game was released. Pixelborn came out when there was like 80 cards revealed.
Oh wow!
Yeah,
that is insane.
Pavel was on it, right? But it was very buggy at that stage, of course, because it was basically it was under testing. So when we played online tournaments and everything, and they were all on tabletop simulators. So because we didn't want things to bug and disconnect, which Pixelborn did a lot. Like I would say even after it, like during the first chapter, Pixelborn was still a bit rough, but. One developer, he just did an amazing job with it. But yeah, slowly everything gets released, and I have never been a part of something before it even came out, and it was such a huge thing. It was the most fun I've ever had in a card game, because every week, 5 new cards or something gets released, and everyone's like, "Whoa!" For example, when Stitch Rockstar dropped, and I was like, okay, the game is over. Stitch Rockstar is so OP. There's nothing you can do about him. You just play so many small guys, and then they reveal Fire the Cannons and the 4-cost uninkable Captain Hook that takes it back to your hand from your discard. So they're like, oh no, it's over. Now people can just spam Fire the Cannons on the small guys that play with Stitch. And then, a few weeks later, they release Grab Your Sword, which deals 2 damage to everything. And it was like, oh no, Rockstar is ruined! and then, one of the last cards, I think, the very last drop of cards before the first set comes out, just a few weeks before the first chapter comes out, they reveal one of the final cards, Be Prepared.
Yep.
And we were immediately, everyone went okay, we know nothing about this game. The meta we've been developing, no,
it's
we know
gone.
Nothing about this
out
game
of the window.
anymore.
Out of the window.
It's all, yep, it's over. It's done. It's gone. Because everyone was like, oh yeah, you just play a bunch of characters. Of course, watch out for Grab Your Sword. Make sure that your characters have more than 2 willpower, and you're fine. Just play lots and lots of characters, big and expensive characters, absolutely. And then, yeah. So
be prepared. Yep.
Yeah. So game releases. No, we all panic. We have no idea what we're doing. But people figure out that So if you have Be Prepared, that's a good card. And Maleficent Dragon, and all the red stuff, and you combine it with a purple card draw, because friends on the other side, and Maleficent, and
all the classics almost.
Magic Mirror. Yeah, I don't know how many listeners have played Lorcana from the beginning, but first chapter was something else. It was before most of the good cards, actually. Merlin and Mim and all the bound stuff didn't exist at all. Red Purple still the best deck. Still the best deck. Guess what the or alternatively, it's hard to say because we didn't really know what we were doing back then. So it could also have been Steel Song. Again, you had Grab Your Sword, you had A Whole New World, you had Shift Tinkerbell, you had the Ariel, the Amber Ariel that just gets a song and sings 5.
Yeah.
So, you had all the good cards, right? You didn't have any Storm, Rachel, no Strength of Raging Fire, no Cinderella, but it was still a fire deck.
It was, I can imagine. And you had the Lilo, right, also, who quested for Wishing on a Star, that quested for 2? The small one?
Oh yeah, all the
Yeah.
both in yellow and purple had the one cost, one cost uninkable, one quest for 2, which were good for aggro decks, but they did not fare well against all the Tinkerbells running around, of course, and Grab Your Sword as well. So it was a little bit rough to go into Steel with that. And the meta developed, and basically those were really the only 2 decks people played. But let me tell you about the first big online tournament in Lorcana. This was somewhere in the middle, like a month, perhaps, after a month or 2 after the first chapter releases. Pixelborn is still not fully stable, so we're not playing on Pixelborn, we're playing on Tabletop Simulator. And this is a 40-person online tournament. That was unheard of at this point. Biggest online tournament, and they even had cash prizes. Yeah. So I signed up to this 40-person online tournament with my own homebrew, because,
Oh, I know.
We'll get to more of that later about the deck building and stuff, but I love building my own decks. I was not going to just go there with Steel Song.
We're gonna talk about that later, but yeah.
But yeah, I did manage to win the entire tournament actually with Amber, Sapphire, Rockstar Princesses.
Oh my goodness.
And I wasn't lucky. I met Steel Song several times and clobbered them. Because I had loads of characters. I didn't have the 1/1s. I didn't have the uninkable small drops that quest for a lot. I didn't. I skipped those. They were too bad. I had a stable characters for like 3 willpower, and I had the big Jasmine that heals everyone for 2 when she's played and when she quests. Like, I just sustained through the Steel. I let it go. Like, just shift Rockstar, sing Let It Go on their Tinkerbell. There was just... but this was before they completely optimized Steel Song, though. Like, this was like when they still believed that Lantern was a good card. So it's possible
it's still a good card in my opinion. I love Lantern still, I can say.
Yeah, but like Steel, it was before Steel Song got super duper mega optimized. But still, I did beat them with ease. And of course, Ruby, Amethyst. I had a pretty good. I could restock after Be Prepared. It wasn't that much of an issue. I had the item that gives +1 lore to a character if you tap it every turn. So you just quest a victory with that. And that's how, and that's when people started playing Blue Yellow. If anyone knows the first chapter meta, I do take credit for that. After that point, people said that okay, well, the third best deck is Blue Yellow, but it was improved upon. Like I didn't. I kept my aggro line, but people deviated from that and went more like a bit of a ramp route with Lantern and Hades. Like ramping up to Hades, playing more mid-range, right? I play like aggro mid-range, but the actual competitive blue-yellow deck that we ended up with, that was still inspired by my victory there, was a pure mid-range. You play 5, 6, 7 drops, which is very cool. But probably not as nearly as good as the final version of optimized Steel Song.
I didn't actually know that that you told me about that. But also, if you look at, for example, like Dreamborn, for example, I'm pretty accustomed to seeing your name there. Like, this deck has been made by Bjornfot, and a lot of people, hyping and liking your decks, and you're a very well-known deck builder in the Lorcana community, because we are going to get into that right now, because when I think about you, I think about deck building, because you are famous for it, to building, The thing is with you, when I see that you are at the tournament, I just say, okay, I'm not knowing what he's playing, because no one knows what you're going to come with, because you come with something new each and every tournament, and you usually stack very high at the tournament also as well.
Yep.
I remember the last time we played was here in Västerås. You whipped me around with your, what was it? Was it Sapphire? It was Sapphire Amber you played against me.
Yeah, I don't remember which of the, because that, I mean, I was...
It was the Sapphire Amber with the Huey Dewey and the Corella, you know?
Yes!
Yeah, that
Huey
one.
Dewey Louie combo.
Yeah, with the Huey Dewey Louie
really
combo.
Fun.
It was fun for you, it was not fun for me.
I can't believe I topped for that. I'm gonna be honest with you.
You just missed out top 8, I remember, and I felt so sad about you.
Right. Oh, did I? Oh, no, you're right. I thought I would.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah, because you met me.
But I bubbled.
But I was so bad seeded in that one, so you didn't get it.
I had...
and I was pretty sad for you. Yeah.
I had the, whatever, was it? Like, I had a 3-2 score or whatever it was to make the top cut. But then, sorry, I was the one bubble. Yeah, but still, I mean, I'm still really happy with that because that was a bit of a meme. Like I was,
it was very funny.
But like he would.
But let's stay in the deck building for a while and tell me.
Sure.
Tell me, how do you look upon deck building on its own? And for you, what is like deck building? And
for me,
learn us.
Yeah, for me, I just in any card game, I have never been a net decker. You know, I've never been comfortable with. I mean, I have. I've never played a meta deck. I have. I just find it boring, and I find it a bit annoying that I don't 100% understand the complete reasoning behind every card inclusion. That annoys me. I am diagnosed with OCD, and I do get like in my OCD tickles when I don't have perfect control and knowledge over something. And that is usually very easily rectified by me simply building my own deck from scratch, because then I know for 100% certainty why every single card choice is made. Right?
Yeah.
No question marks. It's my deck. I know why I put this in here, and I might be dumb for doing it, but I just know why. You know, I might regret something later, but yeah. Like I'm not super allergic to meta decks. I do look at meta decks because I like to stay informed, especially knowing what my opponents might play. And sometimes, of course, I do see like, oh, well, I hadn't thought about that card. I see that card is very popular in decks right now. Let me try that for myself, you know. So I'm not like, no one is 100% original ever. You know, that's not a thing. But I like to make my own decisions at least. Like at least know, okay, well, yeah, so this combo, these cards are really good. They have a really nice combo in meta decks. So I'm going to have it in my deck because I know how the combo works. I know why I want it in my deck specifically. And yeah, I usually end up with something that is pretty unique in the end. And for me, again, it really stems from OCD from the start. that's a real. So we
thank your OCD because you're so good at deck building. So thank you, OCD. Emil's OCD.
Yeah, but, like in, yeah.
So, but the deck building itself
any
also...
game, you know, in.
No, continue.
Yeah, sorry. Like, you know, in My Little Pony, Yu-Gi-Oh was very short because it was hard to build original decks in Yu-Gi-Oh, you know, because it's so freaking complicated.
I know.
And then
played it myself.
And Magic, actually, I didn't play much standard Magic. I played a lot of Draft. You know, because then you get to build a new deck every time, which is like heaven to me. It's if someone like cursed me and said like, here you have to choose. You can never play cards again in your life, or you can never build a new deck in your life. I would choose to never play again. I choose building over playing. It's easy, an easy choice for me. I enjoy building so much more than playing. My brain really gets this nice, you know, nice satisfying crunch. Like you just ate a big meal and you're full, but for your brain, you know what I mean?
I just see you as this medieval blacksmith who creates all these masterpieces, and instead of sword, you create decks. Like, yeah,
I just really like it, you know, especially when it comes together and there's a really nice curve, and I was like.
But like when you come to a tournament, especially when we play Set Champ here in Sweden, Do you always have the intention of I'm gonna be playing something new for each and every tournament that I play, for each set champ that I play? I'm gonna play something new.
That has not. I mean, it really depends. I would say this is a complicated question. The last set, right? That's when you're thinking of in
Fabled.
Yeah, in Fabled, right? I played that's when I played a literally different deck every single set. I had like 5 different decks. Literally 5 different decks. I had every combination of Amber and then something else.
Exactly, because I remember talking to you about that. Is it like, do you want to play like a new deck for each set champ? And you were like, yeah, it's fun. And I was like, yeah, I bet, especially for you, because you know everything about it.
Yeah. If it's depending on, like, in that set, I felt very inspired to do it because I wanted to test out a certain synergy with all the different colors, and it was Amber boost. No, not Amber boost. Amber support synergy, right? Because you had the mini and also the old card, World's Greatest Criminal Mind, that banishes something that has 5 strength or more, and then you have a bunch of Amber cards that have support and stuff that give either your characters or the opponent's characters more strength. And I thought that was a very good combo, so I tried it in all the different colors, because most other colors also, like especially... No, I didn't try Steel, I think. I was only to... it was only to 3 set champs, maybe. That's why I didn't have... No, 4 set champs. Exactly, 4 set champs.
Yeah.
So I didn't get to try the Steel version, but it was the least exciting because I just like Steel Song, blah. But all the other colors, like blue and purple and green and red, they all have their own cards that can give more power to something in different ways. So it was very fun trying out. I think the strongest combinations were both red and green. I think definitely were the strongest ones.
Oh. I remember like you playing because... like a Rockstar deck with the power line and that with the red green, wasn't it? Someone like that, and with the Max Goof also. Remember you had
the red deck was it was a big mess. I had a few like 1-offs and 2-offs. It was mostly centered around Mulan.
That's right. Yeah.
Because Milan, there's a nice Amber Milan that gives support, and you can also shift it. So you have both the 1-drop Amber Milan and the Ruby Milan and the 3-drop Amber Milan, and you can easily shift Milan, and then you can give more power to your Milan, or you can give more power to the enemy with a lot of both Amber and Ruby cards. Like for example, you got the 1-cost Ruby Simba that gives +2 power. I got Medallion Weights. Medallion Weights is a reusable way to give +2 every turn, either to the opponent to banish them or to my own stuff to challenge and draw cards. So sometimes I do it like that. You experiment with different versions of the same thing, but other sets, for example, I did very well for myself in set 8. What's it called again? Jafar? Yeah.
In
Jafar, I played Merple. Right, and I feel like if we time for the history of Merple, that's like a pretty big thing in my.
We're probably gonna have some time there. We can check a little bit later, but I think we're gonna have some time for you to tell the story of Merple.
Yeah,
I hope so.
So Merple, that's
go. You know what? Tell us about Merple. I want to know what Merple is.
That's my biggest claim to fame. Again, when my Dreamboard started to get popular, it was from that online tournament in the first chapter, when people checked out. I had like thousands of views and clicks on my Amber Sapphire deck.
Yeah.
But then that's when people started following my Dreamborn, and that's and every new deck I published a lot of the other decks too. And for example, I invented something called High Five, which really only saw success in the first and second set. I invented that archetype, was short-lived, so it's not a thing anymore. But in set 2, also, I started brewing with Mufasa. 5-cost Mufasa that when he gets banished, you get to look at the top card of your deck, and if it's a character, you get to play it exerted for free.
Yeah.
And I start playing around with that, and people are like, oh yeah, Mufasa, what's a thing? Both in set 2 and 3 and probably 4, like people built him with Ruby, but I always thought that was wrong. I wanted to build him with Amethyst, and I didn't really get a good list off in set 2, but when set 3 rolled out, I did. And very early on, if anyone remembers the pack, it was, Mr. Beast's girlfriend bankrolled a bunch of big online tournaments in something called the pack, and I topped 2 of the $10,000 tournaments with this. And the first one that I topped, it was very early in set 3, I believe. With Amber, Amethyst, Mufasa, 60 characters. It's not aggro, it's not control, it's mid-range. It barely had any bounce, actually. I didn't really use the bounce engine because it doesn't work well with Mufasa and such, but it had loads of nice cards, especially cards good on the flip, lots of evasives and the big Elsa and all sorts of cool stuff, right? Lots of evasives and such. And it went very, very well. Again, I topped the 10K and got a fair bit of money for it. And immediately afterwards, I hear of my deck not going viral, but there's was a smaller group that this is cool. Like, this is really good. I don't remember the name of the group as such, but
could we say that there were some whispers about it?
Yeah, there were whispers. And then a guy and then I post multiple different Mufasa lists on my Dreamborn, and based on one of those lists that was a Cinderella and Fairy Godmother version, there's a Hearthstone player that goes to Disney Lorcana Challenge Atlanta.
Oh.
And he takes a look at my Merple, my top in the 10K and my Dreamboard list, and he goes, I bet I could win with this. And if I just dodge Steel all day and run into Ruby decks all day. And that's what he did. In America, it was Ruby Amethyst all day. Mm-hmm. It was ridiculous how many people play that. So again, he didn't took my exact deck list, but he took my concept, made his own version, and he won the entire Atlanta DLC. And I believe that was the first DLC ever or something, or was it the second one? And anyway, it was really early there in set 3, sorry. And he credited me in his winner speech, and all kudos to him, of course. But I didn't have that much luck when I was on my DLC challenge in France, Lille, because in Europe, instead of everyone playing Ruby decks, everyone was playing Steel decks. And turns out this deck was really good against Ruby and really bad against Steel at the time.
Yeah.
So that didn't work out. But
you should really give yourself a pat on the back because of that, because not a lot of people can
I do
that.
Bring it up and brag about it every time. Sorry. But and basically, I have mostly been playing some version of that Merple ever since that. In set 4, I played Merple. It went really good for me. In set 5, I gave up and played Amethyst Steel Hyper Aggro with Doc instead. But set 6... 7 and 8, I believe, all of them I did play new improved versions of my Merple, and especially in set 8 in Jafar, it was so good. It was really, really good, and I wish there was a DLC during that set, because I would have just smoked people with it. I'm not to brag, but yeah.
Not to brag, but...
It was so satisfying to see this deck is so good and it works so much. We had the Öland tournament.
We're gonna actually come to that one, so we're gonna wait with that one because we're gonna come there.
So that was with Merple.
Okay, so you're gonna tell all about it later, because right now that was really all of the questions that I had for you. But right now we're gonna go into some games. So you don't know anything about this. So the first game we're gonna play. It's called the Top 5 Lorcana Song Cards. So, it's the top 5 list. I'm gonna give you a song from Lorcana, and you're gonna be putting it somewhere on the top 5 list, but you can't change your answer later.
I see.
You see. So you have to put it somewhere on the list. Can't change your answer later. Are you up for that?
Hi, YouTube Shorts.
All right. The first song is Under the Sea.
And to clarify, is it like how much I like them or how good I think they are?
No, mainly just how good you think they are. It's just it's called the top 5 Lorcana song cards.
Under the Sea, it has to go number 2.
Number 2.
Very strong.
Why? Just tell me why also.
It's a board wipe that is one-sided. That is always very, very strong in all card games. And the drawback of, only 2 power and below is not actually a drawback when there are many ways to lower your opponent's strength. And also many good cards being low strength to begin with. I think it is a very free card. The only downside is that it's uninkable, but that's not a downside enough for it not to be overpowered. I believe it should be banned. Sorry.
Ooh, you think it even should be banned?
Yep.
That's interesting. Okay, the next one. A Whole New World.
That is one of the stupidest cards of all time. And, it is already gone, and I'm happy for that, because otherwise I wouldn't be complaining about stuff like... Yeah, no, I have to put it above. I'm just so afraid you're going to say be prepared later. But I'm going to put Whole New World in number 1, simply because it's literally the entire engine for so many steel decks. It is ridiculous what it does, and the fact that it also takes the opponent's hand is usually bad for the opponent, because usually the opponent has saved up a lot of good cards and you just throw them away.
Okay.
Even if the opponent ends up with more cards in their hand, yeah.
But number 1, a whole
number 1, Whole New World.
Wow. That is a big one.
Just because it enables other cards.
That's true. And you also can just sing it with, like, Ariel, for example, and still play out something. It's insane.
Or just shift something and sing it really early if you don't like your starting hand. It's really busted, yeah.
That too. Especially with the big, with the queen combo, for example. The little queen, and then shift out the big queen for 2 and just sing it. And if the opponent plays a ramp deck, it's GG. What are they gonna do? Okay, number 3.
Yep.
Second star to the right.
Honestly, it's kind of balanced. Second star to the right is like a 1 or 2 off in some Amethyst decks, and I think that's completely fine. I think it's a balanced card. Most decks won't use it, because most decks won't be able to really sing it. Therefore, I would say it has to go number 5, because it's probably going to be the worst one of these. Sadly.
We're going to see. We're going to see.
Yeah, we'll see.
We'll see.
I'm gambling here.
Number 4. It's Into the Unknown.
Ooh. I mean, it is a pretty good card. It really is. But...
I would say that this card was more popular when the Blurple deck got its swing up here with the Fable meta. But
of course.
Now I can see it's been going down a little bit.
Again, it doesn't. It's not many decks play it, of course.
Nope.
So I would say it's still good, but it is number 4.
It's number 4. And the last one, the number 5, the big song, the one and only, Grab Your Sword.
Oh, actually, yeah.
Which is going to go into the number
3.
You know what?
I completely agree with this list. There's nothing wrong here.
Because number 1 is A Whole New World, which I agree, it's a ridiculously good card. Number 2, Under the Sea, which is a board wipe card, so... And I would say that is number 2. Number 3, Grab Your Sword, which is an insanely strong song.
Yep.
Into the Unknown.
Similar to...
Yeah. Into the Unknown, which only takes like 1 character, but at the same time, it's decent.
Yep.
And second started right, which is kind of like, it's only like Blurple that can play it. Like, it's a very, if you play the card and if you manage to sing the song, oh man, it's over. But I mean, not everyone is going to be able to do it. But I'm going to say, perfect list.
Nice.
I think everyone else would agree too.
Yeah, and I say, please make all songs be on the power level of Second Star to the Right, because I think that's where that's perfectly balanced, in my opinion.
Okay. So, the next game. This one is called Mulligan, Play, Discard, or Ink. So I'm going to give you 4 cards here. You're going to be deciding that one of these cards you have to mulligan. One of these cards you have to play. One of these cards you have to discard. And one of these cards you have to ink.
Interesting. Okay.
Interesting. So, are you ready to hear the 4 cards?
Absolutely.
We have Mufasa, ruler of Pride Rock. We have Rapunzel, high climber. We have Peter, games referee. And we have Clarabelle, light on her hooves.
Right. Ruler of Pride Rock is the Sapphire one.
Yeah. It's the big one where you take up 2 cards from your inkwell.
And that is... I really don't know what I think about this card. For me, it's like... It's so good and so bad at the same time. It's very hard to place, but... Rapunzel High Climber... Is that the Emerald one?
Exactly.
I don't really know what that does.
It's the Emerald one. It's the evasive one. So what it does is... I'm just going to get it up here. It's evasive. It's a 2/5. Whenever this character quests, shows an opposing character can't quest during their next turn.
Alright. And you said... Pete?
Yeah, games referee, which
is
referee.
Yeah, that one I know off the top of my head. Can you say the other cards again?
Clarabelle, light on her hooves. You know...
Oh, the shifts.
The big one. The big cow.
Right. So, play, mulligan, discard, ink?
Play? Yeah, so we have mulligan, play, discard, and ink.
Well, I would... I would mulligan the Mufasa for sure. He has no place in a starting hand.
No. Don't see this as a starting hand. Just see this like... You have
How
to
much
choose.
you like the cards?
Almost like that also, but more like... What would you do? This is your hand.
Yeah, no, I would... Oh, I see, I understand. Okay, so, again... Yeah, Mufasa, I think I would mulligan, because I would want it later on for sure. Don't worry right now, I want it back in my deck. Yeah, sure, it can go back in my deck, just not in my hand, please.
Yeah.
Rapunzel, don't feel it. Ink, I don't need her ever again.
So ink her.
Yeah, ink Rapunzel, for sure.
Ink.
I will discard Pete.
Okay.
Because I feel like, being in the discard is, sometimes you can get stuff back from there. So he can be like my backup in the discard.
Yeah.
And then Clarabelle, I want to play. I feel like out of all these cards, I personally don't play Clarabelle decks, but I can recognize that she's awesome.
It's like...
She is just awesome.
Especially with Clarabelle, when you play a mirror match with Sapphire Emerald, it's only about who gets the Clarabelle out first. The person who gets the Clarabelle out first wins the game.
Yeah. And don't get me wrong, I love Pete. The fact that Pete Games Referee exists, it brings such joy to my heart. There's nothing more satisfying than knowing that your Ruby opponent will be at 7 ink next turn. So this turn you play Pete Games Referee, so they can't be prepared you, and you just go wide and quest and win. And I just...
Oh, it's so horrible.
I just hate control players. I'm sorry.
Oh, it's so horrible when that pit comes out and you're like,
but that's a
oh.
one-time thing. Like, unless you're playing Amethyst, that's a one-time thing. Clarabelle gives you supreme value every single turn, so she beats out Pete, in my opinion.
Yeah, she does. And that was that. And I thought that that list was pretty good too. So, now we're gonna go over to the next one, and this one is called Build a Bear Lorcana Edition. So, I'm gonna give you something here. So, you have to create a song or an action. The color is sapphire. The cost of this card is 4 cost uninkable. And the movie is Nightmare Before Christmas. You have to create a song or an action from this movie. It's a sapphire, and it's 4 cost uninkable.
I'm first gonna think about what an inkable sapphire song would be. I feel like it would take something to the inkwell or ramp you. One of those two. Probably. Yeah, it's a 4 cost, like if I let it go, it's a 5 cost uninkable. So a 4 cost inkable. Sorry. So let it go 5 cost inkable. So a 4 cost uninkable could just be ink a character. I believe there is a card right now that isn't a song, but it's a 4 cost action that just says, what is it? Put a opponent's character into their inkwell, and they also get to ink another card or something.
Yeah. Which one is that? I recognize it, but
I think it's 4 cost sapphire inkable in the latest set.
Is it a sudden scare?
No, that's the uninkable 6 cost one.
And it's not spooky sights either, right?
Actually, it's one of those two.
It's
probably.
It's one of those, yeah.
Anyway, so I was thinking, like anyway, for the thematic part, which is also important, of course.
Yeah.
In when we play talking Disney cards, this is Halloween is a classic, but I'm not sure if I get sapphire energy from that song. You know what I mean?
I mean, because
I feel like This Is Halloween would be like a Ruby card. Like, or am I just being way too?
This is your build a card, so this is you.
For me, Halloween is not blue. For me, no, that's blue is a color. Halloween is not blue. Probably what's this? What's this? Yeah, what's this would perhaps be a good card. And what would that represent?
Exactly.
Yeah, I like that. What's this? It could definitely have to do something with inking. Because it says, color. Well, what does it say? There's white stuff in the air.
It says, "What's this? What's this? This magic in the air? What's this? This white things in the air."
Right. So that's not. That's nice. I think that feels very sapphire to me. Like there's magic and snow. Yes, I like that a lot. And it's actually it's a very happy song.
It's a
like
very happy
when
song.
you ink your when you, like, for example, scary, spooky, whatever. That's you ink your opponent's characters because they get spooked. This is actually the opposite of that. What is the opposite of inking a character, perhaps? I would maybe say that this song gives ink to both players.
Ooh.
This song gives ink to both players' inkwells. Because it's a happy song, both you and your opponent are happy, there's color everywhere, and there's creatures laughing, And And you know, when that's that, oh look, everyone's like super happy and friendly. You know, oh look, the mistletoes and stuff, and you know, he's a little confused, but he's got the spirits. You know, the monsters are all missing. Then that part though, the monsters are all missing.
Mm-hmm.
Nightmares can't be found. No. As you know, music in the air, smell of all this good stuff. Yeah, no, I think it would be a positive card. It's perhaps it would give. It's a 4-cost uninkable Sapphire Song. It gives you 2 ink and your opponent 1 ink from the top of your deck. Enters your you get 2 cards from the top of your deck into your ink will exerted, and the opponent gets 1 card from the top of their deck into the ink will exerted.
That's a very good effect. That is a very good effect.
I think that feels balanced to me because you have 1 jump ahead, which only gives you 1 ink. So this costs 2 more and gives you 2 ink, with the downside of giving your opponent 1 ink as well. I feel like this is a balance card. I don't work at Ravensburger, so I could be wrong, but that's my card.
Maybe after this you're going to be working at Ravensburger. Who knows? Okay.
Hey,
Who knows? Who knows? Okay. So the next one is create your own character. So this is a amethyst character.
Yeah.
The cost is going to be 7. It's an inkable card. And it's from the movie The Hunchback of Notre Dame.
Oh goodness. Oh. The character card from Notre Dame. Could do a lot of good.
You have a lot of good things to pick here.
So 7 cost, which means it's going to be a really good card.
It's a strong one.
Inkable, so not too crazy. I'm gonna compare this to Demona. Like, Demona is way too powerful, of course. I don't think they should have made Demona, or made her uninkable, or made her cost more, or made her... Yeah, I don't like that Demona exists, so this card is going to be weaker than Demona for sure.
Macavehil, SOS, hello and welcome to the stream. How are you? You are in the middle of the interview here with Emil Bjornfot. If you have any questions for him, don't be shy to ask. We are right now talking about Emil is going to create his own character here. It's an amethyst character. It costs 7. It's inkable and it's from the movie Hunchback of Notre Dame. So, continue.
Right. Oh, and yeah, by the way, also to refresh, Emil Bjornfot, my online name is Bjornfot, if you know my Dreamborn or in Discord, etc. But yeah, I was thinking of which character from Hunchback of Notre Dame do I want to turn into a 7-cost amethyst character? I'm thinking... It could be Frollo, because Amethyst has a lot of villains and spooky characters. So I feel like Frollo would be a good...
There we go! There we go! Finally, he is there, Frollo. The best villain Disney has ever created. Period.
He is such an evil, awful scumbag, and I love him. You know,
I love him too.
I love how he's portrayed in the movie, and I'm so glad he got what he deserved.
Yeah. Okay, so it's Frollo. He's amethyst.
Right.
He costs 7. He's inkable. What is his effect?
I feel like he would have to do something with sorcerers, you know, because he's obsessed with Esmeralda. And, you know, she's, you know, they say words that we're not going to say because that's not okay anymore.
Nope.
But he calls her slurs. He calls her a slur that also implies that, witchcraft and such. So I think like he would do something bad to sorcerers. Like maybe he takes no combat damage from sorcerers, which is mechanically interesting because there are a lot of sorcerers in the game. Or perhaps it could be the reverse. Perhaps he's weak to sorcerers.
That could also be something because his weakness is Esmeralda.
And he wants... Yeah. Actually, I think it would be really interesting if it was a double effect. Like, what if... perhaps you can banish one of your sorcerer characters to play him for 2 less.
That's a good one.
Banish one of your sorcerer characters to play him, or maybe just if you have a sorcerer character, he costs 1 less, but also interacts with the opponent's sorcerers. So it would be like both. He's good if you have sorcerers, but perhaps he's bad if the opponent has sorcerers, because perhaps he would get -1 willpower for every opposing sorcerer.
Oh, that would be very interesting, actually.
Yeah, actually, he gets -1 willpower, so that eventually he could actually have 0 and just not be playable for every sorcerer your opponent has. And yeah, I think you can banish one of your sorcerers to play him for 2 less.
And what is his strength and willpower now again? It was... He needs to be pretty strong, this one. He needs to be pretty strong.
Yeah. He can be played for 5. But yeah, 5 cost. I believe he would be he could be a 6/6 probably. He quests for 1. He only has 1 lore.
Okay.
But he is a 6/6, yes.
He's a 6/6, the number of the beast.
Of course.
Of course. I love it. Machiavelli HS says, Demona feels balanced though, but it's like B prep. You don't want to be the first person to play it.
Yeah, and the fact that she's so important that you have to have those kind of play lines, etc., means that she is a completely overtuned and over-centralizing card, in my opinion. If it's like, oh, of course you play Demona, you play Amethyst. Sorry, card is too good. It should never be an auto. No card should ever be an auto-include in any deck. That means the card is too good, when it's not a choice anymore, but a necessity. And when you know your opponent also has it, and you both have to play around each other's version of the card, again, that means, to me, I like my games to be low power level. It means to me that the card is too good and too over-centralizing. But so yes, so my card is much weaker than Demona, I would say, but that's the way I want to balance it.
Yep. Okay, so the last one. Create your own location. So it's Amber. It's Amber. It's cost 2. It's inkable, and the movie is Monsters, Inc.
Monsters, Inc. location.
Yes.
Goodness me. That is...
And I also want to welcome all of the viewers to the stream. If you haven't followed the stream yet, please do so by clicking the follow button and help me reach the goal of 200 followers. We are right now in the middle of the interview with Mr. Emil Bjornfot here, and welcome everybody. How are you? If you have any questions for Emil, write them down in the chat and I will ask him them later. So, we have a location. Yes. It's Amber. It's 2 cost inkable. And the movie and the franchise is Monsters, Inc.
Right. So I feel I really want to do something with the doors. I feel like the scare doors, that could be a location.
I love it.
At the scare factory.
Yeah.
And thematically, I want it to be like you can open a door, right, and go scare someone.
Oh, I love this.
So I think that this would actually be so. You know how all cards that have something to do with the boosting says that, like if you have a character or location with a card under them, implying we're gonna get boost locations in the future.
Mm-hmm.
This is gonna be a boost location.
Oh, this is gonna be a boost location.
When you boost, let's say 2, start with boost 2.
Okay.
And when you do that, choose a character at this location.
Okay.
So basically, you choose a character to go through a door and do a scare job, right?
Mm-hmm.
So your character has to be there at the location, and then you choose an opponent's character with, let's say, lower strength than your character.
Oh.
And what should happen to it? It's amber, so I don't think you can turn it into ink. I don't think you can banish it. What should... this is hard. Amber... This would be easier if it was like an amethyst or a sapphire location. But let me pause right here and think about amber locations in general. Right? We have Rapunzel's. We have stuff like Rapunzel's Tower that gives you more stats when you're here. We have also things that give you. You can bring things back from the discard with some locations.
You can, and there's also one thing I'm thinking about in Monsters Inc. What do the monsters want from the children?
Energy.
They take something. They take energy.
Yeah, they take screams.
They take something.
And I was thinking of that, but Lorcana doesn't really...
Because I'm thinking about, what if they took their lore?
I would say stealing lore is very distinctly a Ruby thing. I don't think you should be able to do that. However, it could, instead of just stealing from your opponent, I think maybe you could gain something, right? Instead of doing something bad to the opponent's characters, which Amber almost never do, right? They're very conditional rule, like, you can banish something with 5 or more strength, you can banish something that has evasive. Amber is usually not super removal heavy. But gaining something, gaining lore, possibly gaining singer, no, nothing. Monsters Inc. is not a singer thing to me. Maybe instead of the doors, it could be like the quarantine thing, like the quarantine bubble, but that's not really a location. It could just be the monsters. It could be the Monsters University. It could be the Monsters Inc. company building.
That's the thing also. It's just a franchise, Monsters Inc. It could be the second movie. It can be the first one.
Yeah, I've not seen the University movie.
Okay.
But I can imagine what the University does. It teaches you things. Maybe it has to do with boost, actually.
Yeah, I like the boost idea. I have to say that. I love the boost idea.
So, maybe... Yeah. Like, learning. I think learning could be equated to gaining more things, right? Either gaining more lore. No, actually, yeah. No, I think learning has to do with lore. Learning and lore feels like it's something, right? Learning and lore. like spellbook, you gain lore from that. You gain lore from Merlin's whatever it is he does with his cards, gain lore. Yeah. I think... Oh, this is going to be devious. It's easily stoppable, but I think Boost 3. Characters here have +1 lore for every card under this location.
Oh. That is sick.
Yeah, and it is Monsters University then, because I feel like you go there and you learn stuff, right?
Monsters, I love it, I love it, I love it. Okay, what is the cost of moving a character there?
I feel like it would be... how about this? It's cost 2 to move, but characters with a card under them can move there for free.
Love it. Love it.
So it's really about the boost synergy.
I love it.
Yeah.
And that actually works also.
Yeah, so it itself, of course, has 0 lore on the location itself, because it, gives more lore to people who quest. And yeah, what did you say the play cost was?
2 inkable.
Oh yeah, I think that's fine.
Yeah.
It's 2 inkable, and then it's 3 to boost it. You can boost it next turn if you use all your ink. But then you can't move anything there, because moving costs 2 unless you have a character with something under it. But you can't have that if you spent turn 2 playing the location and turn 3 doing the boost. So I feel like even though it only costs a little bit to play, it's still balanced, because you can't play it on turn 2 really. It doesn't do anything if you do that.
Because do you gain lore out of this location?
No. So the lore itself has 0. The location itself has 0 lore printed on it, but the lore, it gives more lore to any character who is at the location.
Yeah.
So yeah, so I feel like that's why it can still cost 2, and it's still not a turn 2 play. But costing 2 is still completely fine for that, I think.
I think so too. And the willpower of this location is?
Since it doesn't do anything early and it doesn't have lore itself, I would say the willpower could be pretty high.
Yeah.
We don't necessarily want it... Like, basically, if you play it down, you probably... The opponent probably has a whole turn to do something about it, because, you pay 2 to play the location, and then you pay 3 to boost it, and then you pay 2 to move another character to do that. That's 7 ink immediately. You have to probably spend 7 ink to get a single quest off of this location. Therefore, I feel like it's fair if this location has a high amount of willpower. Let's say 8. I don't think you should be able to take it out in 1 turn unless you have a good board. I want to give it 8 willpower, because it's not going to see value unless it survives for like 2 turns.
I can accept that. Really. And I think that
because is... 2 cost 8 willpower location, yeah, but it doesn't do anything until later. So I don't think that's too strong, no.
You're really not going to be threatened by that card. It's not like a Macduck Man or something like that you'd be like, oh god, I have to take care of this right now. So yeah, no, I accept it. And then again, very good job there with 3 good cards. And Ravensburg, if you watch this, hire this man. He will make good cards for you in the future. Call him. Okay, so we have now 10 questions to Bjornfot. Are you ready?
All right, sure.
How do you start when you build a new Lorcana deck? Where's the first thing you start with?
I can't answer that question, because I don't all right, I'm gonna sit down and build a deck. It's just a constant thing in my life. I always have cards on my brain, and I'm always building. I'm always theory crafting. I'm always thinking about combos and cards that should be good but aren't, or could be good but doesn't see play. This is my life. I live for this. I breathe cards. So it's very, very hard for me to say where it begins. It really just begins in my head as it's what I daydream about. It's what I think about when I'm sitting on the toilet. It's my everything. Mm-hmm. It's either card games or like other games. I play other games as well. For example, I play the Pokemon video games, mm-hmm. Which you build a team, but it's not the same thing as card building. But basically, I love video games where you build things to make a list, make a team, whatever, and make allocate your stats, stuff like that. So I always think about stuff like that all the time. But when it comes to sitting down and actually making the list, the first thing I do is usually, well, if I know that, okay, so I'm making a Mufasa list right here, I just add the Mufasa first. Mm-hmm. And then the cards that obviously go with Mufasa. Mm-hmm. But then I usually just take it from, bottom to top, start at the one costs, look at all the one cost cards in both colors, mm-hmm. and be like, which ones do I like? And I absolutely am never afraid of putting too many cards in the deck. It's so easy to take stuff out. It's fine. Just click 4 of every card that you think are good. Put 4 of them in. Again, Dreamborn.inc, highly recommend if you don't know. Super good place to build cards on.
Dreamborn.inc, guys, to create your own decks and also to help you keep track of your collection in Lorcana. If you haven't joined already, join it.
Absolutely. I always Dreamborn. Even if I don't know what I'm building, I sometimes just pull up Dreamborn and search for stuff. You can just type in Lion King, for example. Get a Lion King, or you can type in King and get all the cards that are kings. Mm-hmm. Mufasa to get all the Mufasas, etc. So it's very good tool. But then, I just go on Dreamborn. I start clicking stuff. Adding them to my deck list, and then when I'm done, I probably have 80 cards or something. And I'm like, okay, well, what can I remove? But I have, for example, I have way too many 2-drops. Well, I'll have to remove some of them. Or maybe just in hindsight, with how the rest of the deck turned out, I don't think this card is good, actually. I know I added this because I thought it would be good, but it doesn't have any synergy here, remove that, and so yes, I start with adding, you get a general idea, add the important cards for that idea or for that combo, and then just fill it up with everything you want, add way too many cards, and then trim it down. That's the basics.
That's the basics. Okay, Number 2. Is it synergy, favorite character, or the meta game that, drives your choices forward to when you create a deck?
I always think about all 3 of those, to be honest.
Okay.
I think all of those are very important aspects of having fun, building card decks in a card game. For me, at least, I live for all of that, and I think finding the balance between them when building a deck is very challenging, but very, very satisfying once you get right. I am so incredibly satisfied. A lot of people got sad when, after rotation, when you can't play your old decks anymore. But I'm not, because my deck was so perfect. It was so great. I loved how Merple turned out, and how I just crushed with it, both online and offline. I have been building that since set 3, and it was finally perfect in set 8. And just chef's kiss. It was so satisfying. It had flavor, it had synergy, it beat the meta, everything. And that's of course my dream to do with everything I build. But it's very hard to do that from the start. You have to tweak things, and the meta. You don't always know what the meta is going to be in a few weeks or a month. You don't know.
We all speculate, even with Fable, we all speculate what it was going to be, but who could have thought that it was going to be Blurple in the end?
And when you do it like me, I build actual new decks, entirely new things. Some people will be like, oh, I like building decks. I took this Ruby Amethyst list and I changed 2 cards. I made a new deck, and I'm like, good for you. But that's not what I do. I make completely new stuff.
Yeah.
And when you do that, it's very, very difficult to know. Okay, so will this actually win against Steelsong, or will it lose against Steelsong? Will it win against you? I can speculate all I want, but when until you that's also why I play a bunch of different decks all the time, because I need to test them. I don't like playing Lorcanito and stuff because it feels too impersonal, and you don't know what the other person's local meta game is and why they made the choices, or even if it's a good person, if it's a good player or not. So I don't test online. I simply don't. I test, in person when I have a real face to talk to, and I already know the person, how they usually play and what they usually play, and therefore I can reference that to how it went when I played this specific deck against them that day.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah. Again, all three are important, but it's especially the metagame part is super difficult to know before you try it.
Okay.
How it does into the meta decks, you just have to try.
How do you choose which colors you're gonna be playing?
So that's usually the first, as I was explaining before, the first thing I do when I'm building a deck is like, oh, well, this deck is about this idea. Let's say, oh, this is a Mufasa deck. So first I add Mufasa. Well, what color is Mufasa? Bam, that's one of my colors right there. Locked in already. And then, okay, so what cards can support this in other colors? Do I really need something from some other color, let's say? And I might decide like, oh yeah, so I really need these purple cards or whatever. But a lot of the time, actually, for example, when I played my support synergy decks with Shiwi and all that, I made 5 different versions of the deck for every other color combination because I didn't know what else in Amber to put. And that's okay. You don't need more than one color. You can just start with one color and then try out one of the colors, try out another color, and eventually you'll find the best match for you. So usually I build something built around one card or just a few cards, but often when it is in only one color, I don't know what the second color will be when I start building the deck. So sometimes I only pick one. Sometimes, though, of course, it's 2. Like, I know that I need both this and this card here because that's a really nice combo, but they are in different colors, and then you simply have both colors right there. That's how I do it. I base it off of the cards that I pick. Okay. But I'm open to changing things if I change the cards, let's say.
How important is it for you that deck itself has to be themed after a movie? Like, for example, the deck is supposed to be a DuckTales deck, for example. Is that important to you when you build a deck, or?
I wish that they made it so that building a deck, from the same franchise, you ended up with a good deck. Sadly, the reality is not so.
No.
And therefore, sadly, I have abandoned trying to have a really thematic decks. It would be fun, but it never ends up well because
I feel that's pretty sad, though, because I really wish that there could exist some thematical decks that would actually be pretty good in the meta, at least. And I think that is maybe something that Ravensburg and Disney Lorcana can look upon in the future, actually, to make.
Absolutely. I would love more synergy, like, I don't know, a Lilo card that says for every Stitch character, blah, 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 and a Stitch that says for every Lilo character, blah, blah, blah. Like, double synergy things that, like, I would love to just fill my deck with Lilos and Stitches. It would be super fun. And if it actually were good synergy in that, I could probably make it work. If there is potential in something, I usually test it a lot, and I would have fun testing it even if it wouldn't end up being super meta. But right now, there's no reason to even test something like that because there is nothing like that.
No.
The closest I think you can come to it is the Queen, right? If you have cards named the Queen, blah, blah, blah. And I have tested that.
The Dalmatians puppies, do they count also? Like with the puppies?
Sure.
I mean...
Yeah, sure. I would personally, I have not been impressed with people sing praises about the Amber Sapphire puppy deck, but I don't agree. I think that if that does well in your local meta has probably never seen a real aggro deck, and that's... I'm sorry, it's not a good deck. The puppies are not good. Your meta is just wrong. I'm sorry, it's entirely a skill issue.
No.
Because even control decks, like even Ruby Amethysts, should just win against the puppy deck if they know how to actually play against a proper aggro deck, which I don't blame you if you're new, because aggro decks haven't been real for a year. It was over a year since we ever had a real good aggro deck. So if you haven't played back then, if you only played for like a year or so, I understand why you don't know how to not lose to aggro. But yeah, sorry, puppies are not good. The queen is not good. There's not a single synergy thing that is good in the entire game.
We can only hope for that it will be good in the future, at least.
Yeah.
So, for the next one, how important... no, let's see. Where do we were? There we are. Which card do you think is the most underrated card right now in Disney Lorcana?
Oh, there's so many cards, my guy.
Mm-hmm.
I think...
There's a lot
my
of cards
favorite
here.
card... Yeah, my favorite card right now, which is also, I think, a very underrated card, is the Diary. What's it called? Wendy's Diary, I believe.
Wendy's
Or
Diary.
What's it called? Webby's
Diary.
Amber item.
It's an
Webby's Diary.
Yeah, I think that one. Yeah.
Because it's, whenever you boost a character, you can pay 1 to draw a card.
Ooh.
And that's insane because that's an Amber card. Amber doesn't have card draw. Now you do. And that's my latest thing. I'm building boost decks because Amber has a lot of great boost characters and boost synergy. For example, I at my pre-release I pulled a epic Gaston.
Oh, I love that card. I love
and I like it so much that I actually traded. I actually got 3 more. So now I have a full playset of epic Gastons because I'm not building a deck without 4 Gastons. I'm telling you right now. I'm just not doing that. It's not happening. Just like I have 4 promo the Horseman Strikes. Also, I'm never building a deck that doesn't have 4 of those. Boost is strong. Amber has cards that synergize with it. For example, the 2-cost item that has the Be Our Guest effect of looking at 4 cards, picking a character from them. But also, you can sacrifice it and pay 1 to boost a character. So it has like double usage. And that is not just, you can probably boost a character for 1 or 2 anyway. So what's the point? Well, the point is that you can boost something twice in the same turn. That's the thing, because boost says that you can only do it once per turn. But if a card simply says put a card under your characters with boost, you can do it on the same turn as you boosted it normally.
That's true.
Because some cards have effect that, for example, for Gaston that wouldn't matter because it only needs 1 card under him to have its effect. But something like, for example, let's say Simba, the 7-cost Simba, that whenever you boost him, he does a Mufasa. You look at the top card of your deck, and if it's a character, you get to play it for free, right? So, for example, together with something like Simba, it would be really... That's insane. Just I get 2 characters, actually, this turn for free. But also, cards like Cheshire Cat. Right now, I'm really liking Amber Amethyst. And Cheshire Cat says that every time you boost him, you can take 2 damage from anything and put it on an opposing character.
Mm-hmm.
So just move a bunch of damage around. So boost him normally, then boost him again. You just moved 4 damage that turn, better than Bell, right? But basically, the reason why Webby's Diary then is my favorite card and the most underrated card right now is because while you're doing all that, while you're boosting something twice in a turn, if you pay 2 extra ink, you also get to draw 2 cards. So, which again is insane. that means you don't have to play a bunch of card draw stuff in your deck. Even if you play Pro, like you don't have to play Demona, you don't have to play the Scout's Handbook, you don't have to play the library. You can just play good characters instead and boost synergy, and you're really your only card. If you have 4 Webb's Diaries, that could be your only card draw in the deck, and it works completely fine.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, Webb's Diary. You're gonna see. I promise you, if more good boost characters come in Winterspell, you're gonna see Webb's Diary shoot up.
You heard it here, folks, from Bjornfot himself. Webb's Diary is going to be the new top card, so make sure to get your copies of Webb's Diary. All right.
Yeah.
How do you balance between aggressive play and control play?
See, that's something I really like doing, because while people always say, like, "Oh, Bjornfot, he's the aggro master," but truth is, usually those are just like aggressive-ish mid-range decks. Almost all of my decks are mid-range. For those who don't know what that means, it means that it is, it is not aggro, it is not control, it is somewhere in between of like, it can both quest and remove the opponent's board somewhat well, which means that you basically, if you heard the term tempo before, mid-range is tempo. If you build a tempo deck, that's a mid-range deck. You kind of like, you both challenge and quests, sometimes on the same turn with different characters, It's very complicated. I'd say it's much harder than playing either a pure aggro deck or a pure control deck, because then you only have one goal in mind and you can go all in on that. But with a mid-range deck, you have to know exactly when to quest, when to challenge, how much to challenge, how much to quest. Like, oh, I didn't need to quest that much. I fell behind in tempo now because I didn't challenge. Or, oh, I challenged way too much. I didn't quest enough. And also, in what situations or in what combos. Because sometimes, if you meet a super control deck and you play a mid-range deck, sometimes you have to pretend to be an aggro deck in those situations, right? Or when you meet a very, very super fast questing deck that quests way faster than you have to completely focus on challenging in the beginning to then eventually you want to start questing, because of course if you just challenge them, they're gonna win and just play something that quests for 2 and then you can't deal with until it quests, etc. I always balance it. I try to almost always make mid-range decks. Even my blue-yellow aggro deck in first chapter was still honestly kind of mid-range. It wasn't hyper aggro. It didn't focus on things normal aggro decks did, and that's why I won against the Steel Songs, right? Because I just wanted to have more characters that are sturdier, etc. And I had removal, and most of my decks are like that because that's how I like to play and that's what I'm good at building. I don't like to build hyper aggro or super control, and those kind of decks are almost always already explored. Like, I don't need to build it. Like, there's always going to be a meta control deck, sometimes a meta aggro deck, and they're all going to be figured out because newsflash, you just take the best control cards and in the control deck and all the best aggro cards in the aggro deck. It's not rocket science. There's not much creativity there. Whereas in mid-range deck that tries to do everything decently and just win on having a big tempo swings, there are so much nuance and it's difficult but fun.
How do you customize to tournaments and gaming meetups, for example, like league play, like every week?
Mm-hmm.
So how do you accustom your decks after tournaments or league play?
Well, when it's league play, I sometimes don't take it super seriously, and I just show up with something I want to try out. Usually don't care about winning when it's just a weekly play. Because again, as I said, I have so many ideas, I need to test them for real. And that's when I do it, But when it comes to tournament, like a set champ or something bigger, I always try to, of course, think, okay, what's my best deck right now? That would, of course, work in the meta. I can predict I'm usually up to date with what's popular right now, but what's popular in Sweden, what's popular in Stockholm, or whatever. It's very hard when I've been to a Disney Lorcana challenge 3 times. Every time it was impossible to predict because it's like 2,000 people from all over Europe. How are you supposed to? That's impossible.
It's pretty hard. Yeah.
Yeah, then I just took my best deck, and I was like, oh, okay, so my deck, I know it's kind of bad to steal, but I hope I won't meet too many steal decks, and like, it was just steal decks all day, and what can you do about it?
Nothing.
But when it's just like in Sweden or just in Stockholm, where I live, I'm almost always right, roughly what I'm gonna meet, and then I, of course, adjust my deck to it. Even like, for example, when I had my different deck for every set champ in Fabled. I specifically chose, for example, to bring the blue version to Västerås because I predicted that. I don't remember why, but I specifically chose which deck to bring to which tournament based on what I thought the local meta would be because of the different people coming to different places, like the Västerås gang and other people coming there. Probably I can get away with Huey. It was like, I think that's the set champ in which Huey, Dewey, and Louie will not get taken off the board. I have the highest chance of Huey, Dewey, and Louie actually drawing me cards because I think they will be safest in the meta of Västerås. Whereas I would never bring that to Stockholm because I think the Stockholmers, they will just snipe it away. So yeah, of course, I usually take my best deck, but usually tweak that deck to fit the local meta of where I'm going.
Okay. So, how often do you edit a deck after you have played it?
Every single time.
Yeah.
Not necessarily, but I think about editing the deck every single game, I'm like, okay, so I won this 1-0. But however, I think maybe this card was unnecessary, and I could have won even harder if I had this deck instead. So all the time, even while I'm playing, I think about editing the deck. And I finally do edit the deck if I have a good enough reason to. If I feel like, okay, yep, I need this, or I might need this, it's worth testing. That's when I edit the deck. So it's a constant changing.
It's constant changing. All right. What is the most usual mistake new Lorcana player makes when they're building a deck?
I honestly think this is gonna sound weird coming from me, but the biggest mistake is trying to make your own deck.
Mm-hmm.
I want to encourage people to build their own decks from scratch. I really want people to do that, but I'm going to be completely honest. If you're new to Lorcana or new to building decks, it's not going to work out for you, and you're not going to have fun, and you're going to end up frustrated and never want to build your own deck again. I strongly suggest that if you're new to Lorcana, or at least if you're new to card games in general, if you're a card game expert, you don't need my advice. But if you're new to card games and new to Lorcana, just play what's good. Honestly, start with finding a list online that is good because it won something or topped a tournament or other people say is good. Make sure you understand the deck. Don't play it if you don't understand it. Look through the whole deck if you don't understand why the cards are in there or how the deck plays, or if you end up performing poorly with it when you play, switch to another deck. Find one online, don't build anything. When you find a deck you like, find a deck that works, start tweaking it. You probably already have to tweak it. You probably won't have all the cards, especially the expensive ones that are in the deck list. So you already have tweaked it a little bit.
Because Lorcana,
but continue doing that.
Lorcana right now is starting to be quite expensive. There are a lot of cards out there that are ridiculously expensive. For like
Yeah.
Maui Half Shark, for example, is a ridiculously expensive card. Clarabelle Light on Her Hooves is has always been a ridiculous expensive card, and for not even to mention how expensive Rapunzel was back in the day, was
Yeah.
insane.
Yeah, I would say you say Lorcana is getting expensive. No, Lorcana is getting cheap. It's only been getting cheaper and cheaper. In the first chapter, Rapunzel was 40 euro. Like, hello?
I think she was even more than 40 euro after a while.
Yeah, she was probably 50, 60 at some point.
I think she was 60 actually at some point. But
yeah, and
I can see now, like for Dumbo, for example, when Dumbo came, that was insanity how much he went for it. I think that was even more at some time. I think he was up $80 or $70 at one point, and I was like, that is insane.
Yeah, I think because he was a mandatory 4-cost legendary, and I don't think Fabled sold super well, so there weren't much to go around. Most people did. It was mostly reprints, so people didn't want to open packs. They mostly did it if they were collectors and chasing iconics. But yeah, except for that, and Demona is kind of expensive now too. Sure, because again, she's a kind of like a 4-off auto include legendary, and Amethyst is also a very popular color. Just like last set, Amethyst is also super popular color, which of course just makes it even more rare, even more expensive. Which is, I don't think that's a price issue or whatever. I think that's mostly a game balance issue, that Amethyst is just too strong. It's always been too strong, especially after rotation.
Yeah.
I've always said this, and I will say it again. I said this since the first chapter. When people say like, "Oh, what do you want to ban?" and I always say, "I want to ban the entire color of Amethyst." and we're, I still stand by it. Just remove the entire color of Amethyst from the game, and everything would be more balanced.
I tend to agree. I tend to agree a lot. Even though I play Amethyst myself, it's not my favorite color. I have always been a non-fan of that color because it's so overpowered. It's ridiculous.
And as I said, I played Amber Amethyst for most of my Lorcana career, and the reason, and it's because I love Amber. But honestly, 2/3 of my deck have always been Amethyst cards because they're too good.
Yeah,
the Amethyst cards are too good. I want to win.
Of course, why wouldn't we? We're there to win, and Amethyst is one of those colors. Okay, and we can actually go to that now. Do you have any signature deck or favorite strategy that you use to? And I think we got an answer in that with Amber Amethyst.
Yeah. Like since like set 2, I've been brewing Amber Amethyst mid-range Merple. That is Mufasa purple. It's a bit of an inside joke, but Merple basically. I'm Merpled all over the place. Get Merpled. There's gifs and memes of it people have made. But yeah, that's why mid-range is my thing. Amber Amethyst is my thing. I am once again trying to make Amber Amethyst mid-range work, but this time it's not Mufasa. People are like, oh, well, Simba is like Mufasa, but I don't like it. I think the card is bad. It costs too much, and it's too easy to remove. So you can't... Like, the good thing with Mufasa was that even if you remove him, like, that's when the effect happens. So it was never a problem with Mufasa. Now it's a big problem. Oh, I play this really expensive character, and everyone's like, oh, okay, I'm just gonna play Hades or something. Like, okay. I would love to play Simba as a successor to Mufasa, but it doesn't work out. Right now, it's Boost synergy. I love Boost. I love Web's Diary. I love Gaston. I love all the Boost cards, Boost core. I think both Emerald and Amethyst have very promising support for Boost combined with Amber. And that's where I'm at right now, but I'm not super satisfied, so I'm really looking forward to what Winterspell has to offer.
Interesting. Okay, How much does new set? I mean, how hard is it to build new decks when new sets come out?
What? Are you kidding me? That's when it's easiest.
And how much,
build new decks.
how much does it? How can we say? I need to find a word for it, really, because how much does it affect you? Really, though.
Oh, it affects me. It's like Christmas for me every time a new set drops.
I can imagine.
I'm just filled with glee, and I go to. So you said, oh, you post so many decks on Dreamborn. That's only the decks I felt like publishing. Like most of my decks, like probably like 70% of my decks are unlisted on my Dreamborn. They're private. You don't see them. You only see like 30% of the decks I actually make. I make so much stuff, and most of it is really dumb.
There are so much more behind, in that secret laboratory that you have.
I don't think I don't think the things I have that I have kept private are worth showing, probably because they're just really dumb and doesn't work, or just I made a better version, etc. But
they do not work yet, perhaps.
I mean. Sometimes maybe just a new set needs to come out that makes that bad deck I brewed before viable again. But yeah, I always have a million ideas. Some work and some don't work. But even those I don't work, I still look back on my Dreamborn, look at my Dreamborn history and be like, okay, so I tried this before, it didn't work, but now the new set has this. Maybe I can make this work. And then I take that old dumb Dreamborn list and I update it, etc. So yeah, it's super fun for me. It affects me a lot. I mean, I guess it's very complicated. It gets super complicated to build a new deck in a new set when we don't even know what the meta is going to be. I mean, you can take a guess, but you never know, right? So you can't really do a meta call. And you don't know if the combos or whatever, or the synergy you're building is going to work either, or how good that will be, because that often depends on what other people are playing. And again, you have no idea. So it is a turbulent time. I'm having so much fun because I don't care if my decks end up being good or bad. I'm just having, I'm having fun building them. And then once in a blue moon, when I actually stumble upon a good deck, I just go sweep some tourneys and have fun that way. But I'm not concerned with building the right deck. I'm not concerned with doing the correct thing. When a new set comes out, it's complicated and it's weird and it's strange and it's difficult, and I love that.
And I love that answer. So, the last one. If you can give one tip to a new Lorcana player, what would it be?
Honestly, don't forget to have fun. Like, even us super card nerds, again, my backstory, people who've been here for a while, I've been into card games since I was a little kid. And I would say I am a card game expert. I can get into any card game. I like most new card games, they just jump in and do stuff. Like like, for example, Riftbound recently just jumped in and brewed some cool decks and, confused people. But if you're new, I would say, especially if you're new to card games, if you played other card games, you probably don't need my advice at all. But if you're new, if Lorcana is your first card game or your first serious card game, which it probably is for a lot of people, very, very welcome. We love to have you here. We need new blood to, keep everything active, because some people stop playing for various reasons, so that people start playing is a blessing. Like, I'm a super nerd, and I like to throw around things like skill issue and all of that, but honestly, I think almost all of us are just, even if we might be nerdy or sweaty tryhards, we just want to have fun deep down. Like me personally, I have really fun when I'm deck building and nerding about, actually, that is suboptimal. You should instead build your deck like this and this, and your deck is structured on a bad curve. And, I don't mean to be a snob, that is just what excites me about the game. And I'm having a lot of fun when I'm thinking about stuff. I try not to criticize other people too much, but... and for some people, they're all about winning. They have really, really fun when they're winning, and that's why they play like super oppressive meta decks that just give you no chance to play. You come there with your starter deck and you just completely clobbered. You didn't get to do a single thing. All your characters just got removed by the control player, and they are having the time of their life. And I understand that makes you sad, but yeah, just focus on trying to have fun yourself, and remember that people you meet, they're also just trying to have fun in their own way. Please don't take anything personally. Please don't get discouraged. We're all just trying to have fun.
That's the thing. For like me personally, when I go to tournaments, I always try, to be kind and, to talk to everyone, to meet new people, because that's what I like. I like, to socialize and talk with new people and, invite them in. But then again, when it is a tournament, then I am full focused on it because I'm there to win. So if you see, or if I call you upon something, don't take it personally. But I'm playing a tournament. I'm obviously there to win. I want to have fun. I want to talk to you. Yeah. I want to be your friend because, we're all in this together. Wink, wink, High School Musical fans. But in the end, I'm also there to win. So if you're going to hear me call something like, why did you do that? Like calling over judge, it's nothing personal. We're all there to have fun, but we're also there to play the game, to be competitive. Yep. I'm not going to go around to tournaments all over the world just because, but it was fun. It's like, it is a lot of fun. That's why I do it, because I'm fascinated by this. Yeah. But I'm also there to win, to compete.
But yeah, I think especially if you're new, though, don't focus on winning. When anyone is new to anything, they're not going to be good at it. That's not how the world works. I don't want to say it like this, but you're going to be bad. If this is new to you, you're going to be bad at it, because that's the truth with everything in life for everyone.
Take it from me. I was playing my first tournament at... that was the first time you and I met. It was at Dragon Slayer.
Yeah.
And I played Amber. I played Hyper Aggro. It was Shimmering Skies at Champ. It was, yeah. You played Amethyst Steel. You played the bounce version of that, with the pirates and everything. I remember that with Final Cannons.
I played my own Hyper Aggro version.
Yeah, of that one. Yeah. And you went pretty far, right, in that tournament. I remember.
Yeah, I got second. I got second place. Yeah, I lost to, of course, my old nemesis Diablo Discard.
Of course, but the thing was, what I was gonna say, I was new to the game. I was not nervous at all, because you guys made me feel so welcome, because everyone was so nice. But I never had in mind, like, I'm going here to win. Because if you're not winning, then you're just gonna be like, oh, this game sucks. I don't want to play this game anymore. The only thing I had in mind was, I'm gonna win one round today. That was the only thing I was gonna do. Like, the only thing I want is win one round, because then I know, okay, I did something good. I can win one round. Like, it's not hard.
Yes,
and
absolutely.
And I ended up then later, even though I lost a lot of games, I actually ended up winning like 2 of them. I was like, well, this was fun. It's like, it was my first tournament. I never played competitive like this before. So I only play like 1-on-1 here in Västerås. And after that, I just went on more tournament. I started to train even more. And, it is what it is.
Yeah, I think, it's a very good point. Please have realistic expectations. Start small. It's good to have goals and want to do good for yourself. But yeah, like, try to win. You don't even have to win a whole match. You don't have to win a best of 3. Just win one game. If you go 1-2, if you lose 1-2 to someone, you still won a game. You should be proud, because you're new. Anything is an improvement from, because when you're new, you start from nothing, and just start small, and you can get better and better. And that's so, yeah, if you're the type like, oh, but I love winning though, I really have fun when I'm winning, don't count a win as actually winning. Just count the small wins gradually, and mostly just focus on having a fun experience, because I think when you're focusing on having fun, that's when it's easiest to learn.
Yeah.
And learning is the only way you're going to get better and actually win in the future. So it's an investment.
And just hang around and also listen and learn to other people. Like, for example, Bjornfot here. Listen to him, because he will give you a lot of good advice. And for example, we say, well, I think your deck is okay, but you could change this. Some people might take that like an offensive thing, but it's not. We're trying to help you. It's just a helpful thing. If you don't want to help, that's fine. But please, if you're new, also listen. to other players because you will get a lot of advice. I did that. I just sat them like, tell me, what should I do? Because I don't know anything about the game.
Oh yeah, asking for advice is usually if you can, if you can stomach it, because you're probably gonna get some criticism if you ask for advice. But if you can stomach that, please ask. Like, hey, what did I do wrong? Why did I lose so badly to you? Or is there anything wrong with my deck? Have I made a bad deck? That's a tough thing to say, that's to come out of your own mouth. But that is something I have to say that too, like regularly, because sometimes I have made a bad deck, and sometimes I obviously did play bad and got really stomped.
Exactly. And that's why we have these meetups, we meet each other and you discuss each other's decks and look at them and say like, but if you play like this instead on me, for example, sometimes we can just sit and play a game, and sometimes, when we train for tournaments, we can just say, what do you have on hand? I have this. Okay, what happens if you do that to me? That will disappear, we're not trying to win, we're trying to help each other.
Yeah, so... yeah, we're happy to talk and nerd out about the game. We who are, very good at it, very experienced. We love to share our experience.
You guys are more than welcome. Okay, so with that, we have questions from the audience. So if there are people in here that want to ask a question, you're more than welcome to. But I have some questions here from the audience already. Are you ready?
All right.
So the first question I have here, how do you store your playmats and how do you make room for them if you plan to have one from each set?
I am not a playmat collector.
Okay.
The ones that I have won on set champs, they are, well, I have two from DLCs also, but they are like stuffed away in their the classic. No, I think they're from the set champs. Those are just in their original plastic wrappings. I haven't taken them out. I'm saving them. I'm storing them. In 10 years, I'm gonna see if they're worth a fortune.
That's a good idea.
Like basically all of my prizes I've won for stuff. I like to just, they are not. Don't break into my house. They're not here. They are stored in a secure location, with a good security system. You're not gonna find them if you break into my place. You're not gonna find the key either because that goes with me. But yeah, I have a lot of pricing that is worth a lot. That's why I had to make the disclaimer, because if anyone looks this up, I think they can see that I have a lot of pricing, and they're all just sitting there waiting in a vault, so there's where my playmats are. Except for I have bought 2 playmats myself.
Okay.
And they're just like, one of them is like always. They are actually textile playmats. Like they're fabric. And like made of really good, nice fabric. They're no rubber, no plastic. So they don't really need a tube or whatever. You can just do whatever you want with them. You can just it's like a quilt, you can just like fold it. They never deform or anything like that. So I just have like folded playmat in my backpack at all times. And the other one is like folded up in a corner. So yeah, no special storage actually.
Let's see here now. Who is the toughest Swedish opponent?
Simon
Whittle.
Simon W.
Mm-hmm.
I would say, yeah, I would say that we're probably on equal skill level. We are definitely the best, at least in Stockholm. Definitely in the top in all of Sweden. But let's say the only times I ever win, I usually don't win against him in tournaments. And that is usually because He is very good at picking the best meta deck that also counters the most people, including me. He counterpicks me. He literally has cards like, this is just for you, Bjornfot. Like, he has a 4 of this. It's just for me, and my deck loses really hard to it because he knows I play a really weird thing that's going to beat people that aren't prepared for it. And I'm like,
he's very good.
Good job.
Very good player.
Yeah, like it's completely possible that he is truly better than me too. But I would like to blame that, I'm playing my own decks, which are worse, of course, than the meta decks that are proven to be good, and like he actually counter builds against me, and I have a lot of good excuses to why I always lose to him in every single set, champ. So,
okay, who is the funniest Swedish opponent that you can meet?
Funniest. Ooh, I would say maybe Alice.
Oh, Alice. Shout out to Alice.
Because
she's amazing.
Yeah, she's like, if you're thinking about Swedish Lorcana judge, she's the person. She's literally her. She is the Swedish judge.
It's her and Angelo, in my opinion. They are the Angelo is more the head judge, but Alice is the judge.
Oh yeah. Like Angelo is I would say primarily very good at like organizing and stuff like that. Like with all the Nordic Ink Realm events and stuff. He's like a really good on a more manager level. Alice is a maniac on the floor. But yeah, me and Alice were like the first Lorcana judges in Sweden, I believe, because we started our Lorcana league before Sweden had any cards at all. Basically.
And that was at Dragon's Lair, I presume.
Yeah, because Sweden and many other small countries in Europe didn't really get any cards until like December.
Ooh.
But Dragon's Lair actually, they pulled some strings and got some third-party boosters for like 10 euros per booster.
Oh.
But like, but we were so desperate for Lorcana, we were like, yeah. So like she and I we started this whole thing off, I would say. I don't want to brag about that, but she's definitely surpassed me in like being an active and awesome judge. She has lots and lots of judge experience from Pokemon. She's been a judge for I don't know how many years, but forever,
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, yeah, she's always, she's a judge. She's always fair, always nice, and always she usually doesn't play meta decks. And she doesn't like to play the same thing, too many times in a row. So you never really know what you're gonna meet, but you know that it's gonna be probably a fun deck, and you're gonna have fun. And she's also a good player. So even though she plays fun decks, it's still gonna be a real challenge.
Which has been the funniest deck to play and build?
Funniest. Oh my lord. Ooh, that's... I think the most enjoyable deck I've ever played, it was probably my Amber Sapphire Rockstar deck. I think just Rockstar is extremely satisfying to play. And I'm so sad that he just doesn't work anymore.
Not right Absolutely now, doesn't. Unfortunately, but I think maybe will in the upcoming winter spell.
I hope so. Like I saw, as soon as I knew that Rockstar was going to be reprinted, I tried to make a new Rockstar deck in Fabled, and it just doesn't work. I tried every single color combination, it just doesn't work at all. So that's sad.
We all hope for it, but that is your favorite and the most funniest deck you have built is the Rockstar deck.
Yeah, like I said, Rockstar is my favorite card ever, ever. And the most fun I've ever had in Lorcana was playing Rockstar when it actually worked. Yep.
Why Amber Amethyst, and how would you construct it in this meta? Monster OTK doesn't count.
Oh yeah, Monster OTK. That's like the only Amber Amethyst deck that's ever existed that I can't claim that I made.
That's true.
Like if you like, yeah, like really, if you look at like Amber Amethyst, even Amber Amethyst aggro, even in like set 2, in set 1, I think I had the most popular Amber Amethyst aggro list. Set 2, 3, 4, Shimmering Skies probably. I did not make any of the most popular hyper aggro lists for that, but yeah, but Monstro also. I like Monstro. I play Monstro, and I try to make Monstro work. But besides that, yeah, mostly Amber Amethyst. It's mostly been Merple, as I've talked about before. Amber Amethyst Mufasa. Purple Mufasa, Merple. And Amber Amethyst is because Amber is just my favorite color, has always been. The reason for Amethyst is really just because I have found it to be a very consistent partner. For example, in set 2, in a very early, I don't know if you remember the 20 lore .pro charity tournament at the beginning of set 2?
I was not in set 2. I jumped in on set 5.
Ah, okay.
So I didn't even know about Lorcana then back in the day.
Yeah, it was. 20 Lore Pro was a big thing like back then, and they did a huge charity tournament.
It still also has a Discord channel, 20 Lore Pro. You get all your information there also from spoilers and everything.
Yeah, and I post if you like my Dreamborn, go into 20 Lore Pro Discord, because I always post all my good deck lists there. They have their own forum thread. Just if you want to talk to me about my decks, go in there. I'll always respond.
Make sure to do that.
But yeah, Amber Amethyst again. Amethyst is a very good companion. In set 2, the first thing I did for that charity tournament, I built an Amber Amethyst Rockstar deck. It did well. I came top 8 out of like 50 people or so. I was the only Amber Amethyst deck to make it even close to the top. A lot of people tried building like aggro. I built a bit more mid-rangey version with bounce also. One thing I did that had I remember the commentators were absolutely perplexed when I bounced my Rockstar. That became known as the Bjorn trick. When you have your big Rockstar, and next turn you quest with it to get those 3 lore. And oh no, he leaves his Rockstar exposed. No, I just play Snake and bounce it back to hand, and then I play the small Rockstar, and next turn I shift my big Rockstar on the small Rockstar, and then quest, and then play a Snake or whatever, or bounce it back at the same time as drawing cards, possibly. Like Snake is a 2 cost, you can draw cards from it. It was, yeah. It was just because I thought, hey, bouncing Rockstar back and playing just the 1 cost is actually really good, because then you can constantly, shift, quest, bounce, and also, card draw. Rockstar is not enough card draw, Rapunzel is not enough card draw. You need more card draw, because those are both conditional. So, having stuff like friends on the other side and characters that draw cards, very important. As well as, just having a lot of good 1 and 2 cost characters for a Rockstar deck.
Yeah.
And then later on, when in hyper aggro too, I played, Amber Amethyst hyper aggro, and then you have a Lilo and the Maleficent, both uninkable 1 cost, quest for 2, great. And then mostly the Mufasa. Again, I've tested Mufasa in every single color. I just came to the conclusion that purple is the best, because then you have characters that can draw cards. Which means that you can have a 60 character deck and still draw cards and not run out of cards. And, that's pretty much been the same. And then every new set and something great has been added, right? Like in, Genie, super great in Mufasa. You got the Belle and Elsa are super great in Mufasa. Just every single set they just release some new powerful character that I either love to see on a flip or, the one cost, right? Because you had the Magic Broom, Chernobog's Followers, Diablo. Those were my only one. I had 12 one-drops, those ones in my Mufasa list, right? Because it's like, I don't want too many one-drops, and these one-drops help me though. If I flip out a Diablo or Magic Broom, I can still draw a card from it. It means that I can play aggressively in the beginning without emptying my hand too much. I can play like triple one-drops, for example, and just quest and draw from all of them. And, so for me, it's always been like, both especially the one-cost characters are so amazing in Amethyst, but also a lot of the high-cost cards are good too, and that's why Amethyst has been my choice. And right now,
even though you want to see it banned, it's still your favorite choice.
It's just too good.
Yeah, but I can agree with that.
I know it because I play it. It's because there's no reason for me to pick any other color for most of my decks. It's like, okay, and then have some core amber cards here, and then the rest is just amethyst because the color is broken. And right now I'm building amber amethyst boost with boost synergy. I have Cheshire Cat and the big Ursula and Merlin. Lots of those are 3 very good boost amethyst characters, along with, of course, Gaston from Amber.
Yeah.
And all the Webb's Diary and all of that stuff. Just chugging along those boosts everywhere. That's where I think Amethyst is going to be right now, and it is good. It is like a tier 2 deck, but I hope it can be like a tier 1 deck once Winterspell comes out, because right now I'm not sure if I'm gonna win a Store Champs, with this.
I think you will, though. We have the last question here. Where is your prize from Öland, and does it shine in the sunlight?
See, I have a big shelf, 2 big shelves over my computer where I have my card collection and, of course, my trophy from Öland.
That is the Isle of Quest trophy there.
Summer Story. Most coveted.
Look at that. It is beautiful, and it does shine. It does shine a bit there.
Yeah.
Amazing.
For those that are unaware, Öland is it's like an island outside the mainland of Sweden that's still, relatively close. So many people were able to make it, even though it's how many hours to drive? It was 4-hour drive from Stockholm or something. We have a big tournament there with from everyone from the whole country, and my Merple won, and I was so satisfied.
It was awesome, my man.
Yeah, it was it was a point about, I have the perfect now in Fable. In Jafar, finally Merple is perfect. And that was the perfect Merple. That's the one time where I almost never changed the deck. I 2 weeks in, I was like, no, this is perfect. I never need to change anything else. And I didn't. And at the end of the set in Öland, my perfect list won, and it didn't have a single bad matchup there. So yeah.
Big congrats
I
to
was
you, man.
really happy with that I have something to show for it. Yeah.
You deserve it. You deserve it, my man. And for those of you who wonder what the Isle of Quest is, just maybe wait a while and maybe you get to know who these guys are, because I'm not going to say anything, but who knows, maybe in the future. And with that, we are nearing the end of this interview. And with that, you're gonna now get the question from Dejan, because Dejan was my last guest.
Hey,
so shout out to Dejan.
Shout out to
Dejan. So, he asks you this. What would be the dream IP for a TCG for you outside of Lorcana?
Okay. That is a very good question.
I think it's a very good question.
I'm thinking of, obviously it would be some IP that I really like, but also something that should make a good card game. But how do you know what makes a good card game? Because My Little Pony made an awesome card game.
But that's the thing, though. You can never know what's gonna make a good card game. Everything just has to click.
Yeah. So right now, actually, I was gonna say something, but it already had a card game. I was gonna say I'm really into Total War right now, and they made a Total War digital card game. It never made it out of like beta testing, so it was never really launched. But it had a lot of promise, and I hope it comes back. But something that probably will never have a card game is that I'm really, look, I know it's cringe, I know, and all of that, but anyone who's seen my playmat knows that I'm a huge Helliverse fan. Has Been Hotel and Hell of a Boss. I really, really love indie animation.
Yeah.
And that is, it's different, and I understand that it's not for everyone, because it's a lot, and I would say it is cringe, and that's good. Like, it's kind of like, don't gonna open a can of worms, but Homestuck. Look, sorry, Homestuck was cringe, but in the later years I've started liking Homestuck in hindsight, because yes, it was cringe on purpose, and they knew about it, and they weren't afraid of it. And just being sincere in your cringe is good. And so yeah, I think Helliverse card game could be fire, because it is a huge fandom, and that fandom has a lot of nerds. I think it is a very big overlap with card game players and Helliverse fans. And it is a very, very rich universe with loads of character, tons of lore.
Amazing songs also in that.
Yeah, amazing songs. They see Lorcana's thing and make song cards for for a Helliverse card game. Absolutely, it's basically a musical, right?
I would say it is a musical. I've seen some episodes of it, and it's really fun. It's very creative.
Yeah, I mean,
very funny.
Yeah, I mean, some episodes have like 3 songs in them. Just one episode, so yeah, so much interesting stuff going on there. Colorful characters, deep lore, many different like magics and weapons and stuff. And it will be really interesting to see what they could do with it.
Good answer. So, now it's up to you. You can ask the next guest anything you want. As long, it's in the term of gaming, TCG, board games, but other than that, ask away. Whatever you want.
I would probably ask a little bit of a reverse of the question I just got, actually.
Okay.
Instead of what franchise would you like to see being made a card game, I would say, what card game right now would you like to see remade? As in, for example, let's say that you love Pokemon, but you don't like the Pokemon card games. You would love for there to be a Pokemon card game that isn't the Pokemon card game. I'm not asking a very good question. It's a lot of words. You have to probably rewrite this afterwards, but do you kind of get what I'm saying?
Do you ask what card game right now would you see be like remade again, so the engine could be remade?
No, okay, so you snap your fingers and one card game of your choice disappears from reality.
Okay.
And then reappears again completely different.
Okay.
And how would you make it different? You get to decide. Like, you could snap your fingers and the Pokemon game doesn't exist anymore. And you get to decide how the Pokemon card game now looks like.
I love
how about that
question. I love that, actually.
Because I feel like there are a lot of card games out there that have made people disappointed.
I can understand that. I can understand.
Like it's like, oh, I don't know. Let's say that you love Disney, but you think Lorcana is a dumb card game and you don't like it. You might be like, oh yeah, I just wish there was another Disney card game that was better, or that, poor Star Wars fans they have had like 3 card games or something, and none of them turn out because Fantasy Flight games are.
I can actually, in that sort of sense, because I'm a big Disney fan, and one of the biggest complaints I heard about, Lorcana, it's for children, I would say it's not, but it's a very easy game to play. I can understand that. I want it a little bit more complicated.
Look, all card games are for children. I'm sorry.
All card games are for children,
and that's nothing wrong.
That's nothing wrong. You can play it. But then again, I know people say, Lorcana is too simple for my taste. I could actually recommend another game, and that is Villainous, a board game that is also made by Ravensburg, if I'm not mistaken. I actually played that one a few weeks ago with my friends here in Westeros, and that game is difficult.
Yeah. And look, not to throw shade on you, but you're Swedish. You really need to stop saying the American Ravensburger.
Ravensburger.
We all know it's you all know it's Ravensburger.
I say Ravens. I say Ravensburger.
No, that's
Ravensburger.
That's not how we say it in Swedish or in German. It's all wrong.
I've been too Americanized. You know what, Emil? It has been a pleasure of having you here. We've been sitting for almost 3 hours talking to each other. Do you want to give some...
Did I break a record?
Yes, we haven't made a new record. You are right now the longest interview that we have had on this channel. Everybody give an applause. I
am the yapper. I am him.
But I'm so happy that you are, because it's a pleasure sitting here and talking to you. You're a wonderful human being, and it's always a pleasure to talking to you. Do you want to make some shout outs before we say goodbye to the audience?
Well, shout out to Dragon's Lair. It's a cool place. Of course I'm biased. I work there just like a few hours a week, and also volunteer for Lorcana and such. But yeah, ever since I was a kid and first discovered it, I always thought it was a wonderful place. There are other places, like there's nothing wrong with Alpha Spel or Speltrollet, but Dragon's Lair, I think, just has a magic that is special to it, and I really recommend you come here if you're in Stockholm or around Stockholm, or ever come to Stockholm.
I would say, for me at least, Dragon's Lair is that legendary mecca of TCG. That place is awesome. I love it.
And also shout out to the Lorcana community. Like, there are so many awesome people here, not just in Stockholm, not just in Sweden. In general, like especially I have some old friends. I would always give a shout out to R&B, Wonderland, Sailor, everyone who made this card game into what it is from the very start always has a special place in my heart. Like, you OGs, everyone in the 20 Lore Pro Discord, you know who you are. But also, of course, if you are new, we are so happy to have you. And we hope that, in a few years, you will also be considered an old legend and an expert.
Yeah. I couldn't say it better myself. Emil, thank you so much for being on this interview with me. Always a pleasure. We'll be seeing each other soon, I guess, with the set champs and everything. And everybody, give it up for Emil Bjornfot! Thank you so much for that, Emil Bjornfot, and we see each other soon, my friend. Take it easy now. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, this stream has come to an end. We've been sitting for almost over 3 hours. I want to especially thank B Joker for the follow. Thank you so much for the follow. You will be in my heart, and you know it. Guys, the next stream will be on Sunday when we continue the adventure of Kingdom Hearts. You don't want to miss that. Until then, guys, see you on the next adventure. But for now, bye for now.